Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, it's Tuesday. Tuesday's request day. Today's map was requested quite some time back. It's the longest waiting map on the list, and I think it's a creator request map. I vaguely remember it was a creator request, but I've lost my notes. I think old age is slowly getting to me. My notes are going missing here and there. Now, I do have one of these.
It's my first map.
But I don't have a it's my first theme, so it's actually both of those. It's a first map and a first theme, and it's doing really well. Over 1,000 subscribers, and as you'll see when we get to the workshop page, some really good comments. I just hope that the map can live up to expectation, because so far it's looking very, very promising indeed. That's right, hitting the, promising to hit the notification bell is a really good way of building my hopes up and then dashing them by forgetting. Today's map is Rimera Bay by Domain. What a great name. Domain name, one might say, as is Rimera Bay is a very good name as well, I think. We've got a start square that looks like this. I would say that's pretty strong. Lots of space to build into there, and an interesting waterfront too. Terrain heights, pretty much decent flat buildable spaces with bumps around here and there. And then we have resources are good and strong across the map in blotches, which is nothing wrong with blotches. I'm okay with that. That's how my face looks in the morning. Then you have Sunset Harbour. If you have Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, it looks a little bit like this. Okay, off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, there's no DLC required today. In fact, we're using 100% vanilla assets. We're using the Rimera map theme, which was custom built by Domain, as already covered. And if you have a look down here, we have got 4 great comments like match actually deserves more attention. Amazing map, so glad and so on. Spectacular. Oh, blimey, it could be good. 1,133 subscribers at the time of recording. Now, I'm just going to show you something. This does actually occur more than I show, but today's map is a little bit worse than normal. Let me just show you how when I load up the map, we're looking for Rimera Bay, and down here, alphabetical order, no Rimera Bay. So I'm thinking, I must be on the new map. Usually it appears under new map or new cart, and that's not it either. Now, I had to go into the content manager and search out Domain to find the map is actually called Demur on the list here. So that is the map that we're looking for, or you'll be looking for if you wish to play the game. But we've got a similar problem with the theme. The theme, which is the Rimera map theme, you'd think it would be called the Rimera map theme, but if we scroll down here, none of these are that. Fortunately, it's the very last theme that I subscribed to, so it's right at the bottom, and it's called Sunset Bay. So yeah, and it doesn't auto load either. So yes, you'll be looking for the DMRR map with the Sunset Bay theme to play the Rimera map bay and theme, and you know where I'm coming from. But that does happen more than I show. But today's one was a little bit more. I had to go into the content manager twice, once for the map and then again for the theme, just to make sure that I was actually loading up the correct things. Right, okay, down to ground level. Do you know what? I like today's theme mostly. There's one grumble with it. It's a personal grumble. I think there's going to be a lot of people that don't care because it is vanilla-ish, but I mean certainly there's no custom assets, so it's vanilla-ish. A little bit of a bump in the roads here, nothing too bad. Have we got any roads on the highway? Yes, we have roads on the highway. We don't have any trees on the highway. Hallelujah. Always good to have them cleared. Yeah, trees under the highway, they count as tree count. And then if, like me, you're playing with Anarchy switched on, then from the off, then the trees will actually show through the highway, which means sometimes we have a swarm of trees where they shouldn't be. So from this distance, the cliffs look pretty good from this distance, I think. And they do. The cliff texture is a good texture from a great distance and from close up. It's that mid-range, that kind of screenshotty type area that in large swathes, the cliffs just look a little bit meh. So that's my only grumble with the theme. Having never created the theme, I have absolutely no right to criticise somebody else's. Oh, this intersection, I have made intersections. This is an angry intersection. Right, what do I mean? What do I mean? There it is. Hey, stop looking at me, mate. Stop looking at me. Yep, it's an angry intersection. Very nice. Nothing wrong with that at all. All the ramps are very smoothly done. Nice bit of basic detailing around, which I think really befits the map. That it is basic, it's not overly done. Because the map does have what I'm going to call basic, not bad, basic detailing across the map, which means that you kind of want the intersections to match up with that, and I think that has been done perfectly. So anyway, on with the highways. Yeah, misalignment with the heights is not really a huge problem when it's subtle, and this is very subtle, and you get this in real life all the time. So I don't have a huge issue with this at all. And it's just some of you might. I'm mentioning it just in case you say, yeah, you mentioned that about my map, BonBon, and you didn't. Well, I am here, and I think on this map it doesn't really matter too much. And I think actually helped by the theme helps it to pop a little bit as well. It's not perfection, but it's still more than acceptable, so that's works for me. Heading off now towards a little perfect bridge, and do like a little perfect bridge, and that is certainly nothing wrong with that one. Quite happy, not even checking the pillars for that one, to be honest with you. And then down to voice is gone, then down to some bushes on the road just before the Start Square intersection. Oh, you're letting us down. Start Square Trumpet intersection. We've got a little bit of a tree clipping through the underside of there. And then sadly, this is your Start Square intersection entry road, and we've got trees all over it. That's a little bit of a slip of all the places, and that is going to affect score. That cannot not affect score. Double negatives, oops. That has to affect the score, I'm afraid, there. Then down here to another trumpet intersection, all very cleanly, very simple detailing again, and that is, again, good work. And again, we're heading down here, and we have no trees on the road. It's just like it was... We've nearly finished the job. I'll just plop this down here and just did it on the speed. Got excited that the map was nearly finished. I'm putting words into Domain's mouth here. This might all be false. It's just certainly how I'm reading the situation. But certainly there's 1,100 people out there with this map that probably didn't mind just getting the bulldozer to those trees, or even not having Anarchy switched on. And again, there's going to be a lot of players that won't use Anarchy here. I think we're at the edge of the map. Let's follow, there was rail here. Let's follow the rail, shall we? Right, so we come down a bit of a gradient down there. Again, it's not claiming to be a realistic map, so I think we can let as long as the gradients aren't stupidly steep, and I think this is trees on the trunk line there. But yeah, it's not stupidly steep. They're relatively smooth, and I'm happy to let this go. On this particular map, it certainly feels more like one of the vanilla original maps where they certainly didn't care about gradients. We have got a lot of trees here just sneaking on, and that's one of these things that the highways have been very much cleared, but the rail hasn't been cleared at all. Where there are trees, there really are trees. Fortunately, we don't have any dense forests, so we're not going to actually lose track of the trees. Got a nice smooth up and over here, but it does drop down the ramp to get down. That could have actually come in at a higher level because we were actually working into a hill anyway, and then we could have transitioned that around the edge of the hill very smoothly to this spot here. This is a very nice bridge, very pleasing. Aesthetically pleasing as well, as is, like I say, the theme. We didn't mention we're using the realistic 1.2 LUT. Didn't you realise we're using the realistic 1.2 LUT? Well, that's what we're doing. Slightly bumpy there, just slightly. Again, not really a huge issue for me. This is the densest bit of forest that the rail will actually cut through, and then it takes a nice route through the middle of the suspension bridge here, which again, I'm okay with that. Comes out there, it's a little bit of a gradient and a little bit of tree coverage there, but it's not a bad state of affairs, to be honest with you. Happy with pretty much most of that. It's pretty clean work. Then we have we have a junction there with some more trees, and then we're heading off out towards the edge of the map. So what we'll do is we'll take a brief intermission. We'll come back, we'll check. Oh, hang on, what's this rock lining alongside here? I don't really buy into that. I don't know what that's meant to be doing, But anyway, we'll take this intermission, we'll come back and we'll do the shipping, just like we always do.
Do you have trouble building on steep hills? Do your buildings continually glitch into or out of the ground? Then you need the Beginner's Guide to Building on Steep Hills by BonBonB. Click the information button now.
And back to Rimera Bay by Domain and the shipping routes. Now we have shipping routes and they're right-angly. We've got a lot of these. This is where some shipping triangles would come in neatly, just to allow the ships to take some smoother turnings rather than just zinc into there and zinc out of here and then zinc off of this direction. And then we've got a zinc off into the bay there. Yeah, it's, I mean, is it game breaking? No. Is it aesthetically jaunty when watching a ship trying to do a right angle turn? Yes, it is a little bit. Water flow, it looks like, because this is the start square here, looks like it's going to be a problem because it's hardly any water motion, even though we've just come out of a river, a stream even. But as we go around the corner, we get a little bit of water motion around here. And yeah, if you want to stick sewage in here, it's going to be taken away. I would say that kind of works as a win. Credit for that one. Right, so overall, let's have a look at the map. Let's pick something to have a first glance at. Just off from the... Do you know what? Let's head down this way to the playable spaces. We have got all this area around here. This is flat enough to build on. Quite enticing to build into. Obviously got some strong resources going on there as well. I think looking across the map, there are huge swathes of land that really encourage you to want to build into the map. See, I might grumble a lot about a lot of things. Oh, let me show you the theme. With the sand theme, the watercolor theme there as well. And then I like the transition effect into the grass. So we like the fertile works very nicely as well with it. But yeah, I was grumbling about the rocks. Let me just come across to the cliffs over here. The closer we get to these cliffs, the more it just looks like somebody's thrown a blanket over the side of the hill. So I feel the only ways to do this is to obviously have a smaller cliff area. Like it kind of works down here with the waterfall. The smaller the area, the more it kind of works with. Once you get a big old bank like that, you kind of want it to be more like grassland rather than cliffland with this. So yeah, something like that big old cliff would need a lot of texture work, lot of terrain work to add erosion into it to bring it to life. Like over here as well, on the right here, that hill there on the right is part of an island that is buildable. And let me show you that it is buildable. So we've got some buildable space on that island, like into there. You can get in there. But I feel it needs to be lower, like on the peninsula with the Essential Lighthouse there. If that was lower, that would give you more room to actually level things out and just add a bit more buildable space on that island. Like we've got loads of these little islands over here, which are completely sparse and but completely buildable again. Okay, could do with being a bit larger in some of them. I see this being an area where people are going to be reclaiming a lot of land. And that could be, again, that adds a little twist to the game as well. Especially if you're playing with the unlimited ore switched off. Dirt switched off. Not the ore. But yes, I think that could work for gameplay. Then if we head over here, we've got some... I'm liking these fields. Like this area over here. It's aesthetically probably my favourite part of the map. I would say that, first of all, the Essential Lighthouse here. Ah, isn't she lovely? Completely unnecessary here. Why would you need a lighthouse right there? I don't know. But I like the village. I like the village a lot. Not so sure about these house assets being sort of like on cliff edges. Let me just do a little bit of... I probably need a stronger setting than that and larger brush than that. Just going to take out some of the edge here. It's not a good job. It's not intended to be a good job. I'm using the wrong tool. There you go. Change to a different tool. And then I'm just going to grab some trees and just hide those edges a little bit. That would look a little bit better. But yeah, those right angled cliff edges behind the houses, I feel it doesn't add anything. Interesting little intersection diamond thing going on there. I like that. I'd say there's a lot that I like on the map. But then there's a few bits and pieces that make me think, Is this a first map? It certainly is. Anyway, into the start square, which means we've got time for an asset of the day. This one's quite a big one. Quite a big one. And I have turned to the back of the building first, only because I'm a lummox. I'm sorry, Yosh. I've realised, once I started flying through, I realised this is the back of the building. But yes, it's the Wilhelmsheim. Wilhelmsheim Centre. Got there in the end. Probably still wrong. Shopping centre by Yosh. And my voice is croaking. My voice is coming back. Hurrah. And factoids. Because factoids. The moon is 400 times smaller than the sun. But it is also 400 times nearer to the Earth. Which is why there can be a perfect eclipse. See, that just goes to prove conspiracy theories are all correct. There's no way that they could be exactly 400% and 400%. It's like, how? I'm buying into this for and on, you know. Don't worry, you haven't lost me yet. But anyway, yes, I've got some great shop fronts on the front there. I saw some notable English shop fronts. Although Wilhelmsheim Centre sounds like it's probably from... I've gone to the back of the building again. The continent somewhere. Anyway, bye, Yosh. Very nice building, Yosh. I like it. Interesting texture, and you've done a great job. Right, so anyway, let's spin this camera around, find a screenshot, and ask you what you think of today's map. Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Click the I button now in the top right hand corner of your screen. It'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. But the big question is, what do I think of it? Well, aesthetically, I think it has got some very nice areas. There are some very nice 4-star areas. Don't know though that I can give it 4 stars because it just doesn't pop enough. I like the overall design. I'm not marking it down. I just don't find I can don't find this enough for me to mark it up either. So I'm going to go right down the middle, give it a 3 stars. It's the pass mark. Most people would be very happy to play on a map like this. Detailing. There are a few trees on the road, but other than that, the detailing is of a decently enough standard. So I'm going to go 3 stars again. I'm going to go slightly under middle 3, but it's still a good score. Gameplay potential. I was very close to giving this 4 stars, but there are trees to remove and quite a few of them in the start square area. So I'm going to go high 3 for that one. Rimera Bay by Domain. As first maps go, that's not too bad. As first themes go, that's probably better than my first theme would be. So take a bow for that. I'm not going to claim I could do a great theme. I literally would not know where to... Well, I would know where to start, but I wouldn't know where to start and to do a good job with that start. So yeah, it's brave to take on a map and a theme is brave indeed. Anyway, your chance to prove that you're part of the 20 and out elite if you're still here. Use the words of the day into the comments, score yourself some population points, and I'll be back tomorrow with another map in the What's Map series. Have a great and lovely day.